Coming up on Mountain News this morning, one Southern Kentucky hospital treated more than 100 tornado victims after storms ripped through the region over the weekend. And as Kentuckians continue to clean up from deadly tornado damage, one woman tells victims how to not be scammed during this process.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. I'm Amelia Lee here with you on this Wednesday, May 21st. It is 5:30 this morning, and Megan, we're halfway through that working week, so that's some good news for us today. Bad news, the fog, in my opinion.
Yeah, bad news is the fog, but another piece of good news is that rain is starting to clear out just a little bit. In fact, as we're looking at live pinpoint Doppler radar, only seeing a little bit of rain on that border of Dickinson and Buchanan County, Virginia, and just a little bit of rain in Harlan County, Kentucky. Now we'll continue seeing those slight chances of rain throughout the day, but temperatures all in all won't be too bad. We're looking at the 60s across most of the region. Normally this time of year we're sitting in the upper 50s, so a little bit of a warm start. By the time we head into the afternoon, though, we will see a little bit of a mixture of temperatures, mainly just sitting in the 70s. Normally this time of year we're sitting in the mid 70s, and we'll continue to see those temperatures dropping throughout the week, even seeing some 60s popping out for those highs as we're heading into that Friday. Here's a look at the next 12 hours, though, as we see those temperatures fluctuating, getting up into our high temperatures around that 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock mark. Amelia.
A Southern Kentucky hospital treated more than 100 people after the tornado Friday night into Saturday morning. CHI St. Joseph London saw a surge of people in the hours after that deadly tornado. Sadly, one person died at the hospital, but most were treated and released. One of the women treated there initially is now in intensive care at a Lexington hospital, and her family says it's a miracle that she's even alive. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has her story and others who received immediate care following the devastation.
You know, I'm sure she doesn't even know what happened.
Will Wolf's mother, Virginia, is at UK Hospital.
Chest contusion, a head injury, ended up having a brain bleed, multiple broken ribs.
She's among the 100 people that were rushed to the London hospital throughout the weekend. They got there in whatever way they could.
Our first notification of the damage was actually individuals showing up in their private cars before EMS had even been able to mobilize to try to begin rescue.
The foundation of this home is all that's left. Everything else is over here in a debris pile, and I am told that Virginia Wolf actually landed about 150 yards in that direction, in the complete opposite direction from the debris pile.
Her son firmly believes a first responder saved her life.
She was found by a state trooper, and then she was transported to St. Joseph London.
Her home is gone along with that of many of her neighbors, leaving them with questions without answers, and finding just the right words is not possible.
It's hard to explain. You know, this is what you see on TV. You don't expect it to happen to you.
But amid all the loss, they found so much.
Makes you really appreciate your community.
In Laurel County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
Wolf says he doesn't know who the state trooper is who found his mother, but wants to thank him for getting her the right care at the right time. Since Saturday, we've shared the harrowing stories of survival and loss following Southern Kentucky's deadly tornado. One of the people who survived is David Krell of London. Sean Cupp, David's sister, says on Friday night after she got off work, she was told her home, along with several others on Philpott Road, were completely leveled by that tornado. But to make matters worse, Krell, who has special needs, was home during all of it.
He said he heard the freight train and he knew it was over. And he said he remembers slamming into the wall. And he said he blacked out when he hit the wall. And then he woke up, and he said he seen him a few minutes later. And he tried to get up, and he couldn't.
Cupp adds that Krell suffered a spinal cord injury that left him paralyzed from the waist down. Folks throughout London have incredible stories of surviving the tornado. Danielle Smoot lives in the Crooked Creek area of London. She says she was up throughout the night with her family as they took cover in their shower. While her family's safe, she continues to pray for the people who lost their loved ones during the storm.
Even though you may not know somebody personally, it still hits so hard because it's your community, it's your people. You know, when I see you show up, Steve, you're my people. You know, that's what we say in Eastern Kentucky, you're my people. So it just breaks your heart, and to know the families that have been left behind and what they're going through.
Now Smoot and many others are giving back and helping their neighbors as they go through this difficult time. One man is counting his blessings despite having no place to call home after Friday night's tornado in Pulaski County. Jeremy Shanks and his wife lived on the property since 2003, and this on your screen now, it's what's left of their home. Despite the devastation, Shanks says he and his family have received overwhelming support beginning just hours after the storm.
Before daybreak, you could hear chainsaws in both directions, and nobody called, nobody asked, everybody just piled in, and they began to cut and clear, and they've brought us food and supplies and campers, trucks, trailers. This shirt is the only thing I own. Everything else somebody's brought and bought and gave to me new.
The Shanks family plans to rebuild. Well, if you're looking to pitch in to help people impacted by the recent severe weather in both Laurel and Pulaski counties, a few local law enforcement offices are accepting donations. The Menifee County Sheriff's Office is collecting water bottles, cleaning supplies, and non-perishable food items. And the Corbin Police Department is also accepting items, including garbage bags, clothing, and food. You can drop off those donations at each office. Some places in Louisville sent special teams to help with search and rescue efforts in Laurel County. 8 rescue specialists went door to door searching for survivors and helping people who were trapped by debris and rubble. A 9th team member went to Frankfort to assist the state's team with communications. The team brought a special truck that's essentially a toolbox on wheels that contains the gear necessary for this type of disaster.
And these are neighbors that their houses are gone too. They're completely leveled, and they're worried about the person next to them. They're worried about, you know, whoever's across the street. They're worried about so-and-so's dogs.
Firefighters say this type of rescue highlights everyone's ability to work together. Medley says they worked with city, county, and state teams to help with search and rescue, and that was truly a team effort spread across a number of different departments. The people here in the mountains continue to experience storm after storm. For scammers, that storm creates an opportunity. Heather Clary with the Better Business Bureau says to make sure you're not being scammed and keep some of these things in mind. First, don't be quick to say yes. Make sure you check for storm relief experience and get all they're promising in writing. More than anything, make sure you're validating the facts.
Ask them for their documentation, workers' comp, liability insurance, get what they're going to do in writing. Do not pay the entire amount up front.
Clary also says identity theft is possible. You'll learn more about those scams coming up in the next half hour. A chemical leaked from a CSX railroad car in Greenup County, and it led to a shelter in place for homes very close to the rail yard in the Raceland area. Public safety officials say it's ammonia in their yard just off of US 23 in Flatwoods. The area affected is mainly on CSX property with the exception of the Meade 1st and 4th Street area. The hazmat situation happened yesterday morning around 8, but we do understand the shelter in place has been lifted and US 23 in that area has reopened. A Lincoln County man is facing charges after being accused of possessing child sexual abuse material on his electronic device. After receiving a complaint, KSP Electronic Crimes Branch launched an investigation. This led to 18-year-old Dalton Herbert ultimately being taken into custody. He was charged with 3 counts of possessing matter portraying a minor over the age of 12 in a sexual performance. A Floyd County man charged with attempted murder appeared in court Monday. Ronald Ramsey is accused of shooting 2 people after an incident on May 10th on US 23. Now here's some video we've obtained of the scene. He was also charged with assault and wanton endangerment. Ramsey waived his hearing, and now the case will be sent to a grand jury for a possible indictment. Members of the Wolf County Search and Rescue Team rescued a woman after she fell around 15 feet. Members received a call Monday night at around 8 in reference to a woman being injured after they tried to climb Tower Rock. The woman was climbing down when she lost her grip and fell. Crews used techniques to lower the woman to the ground before she was ultimately taken to UK Hospital for treatment. After years of unreliable emergency services, one county in West Virginia is heading toward a permanent solution. Wayne County commissioners approved a purchase contract for new Wayne County EMS station. It will be a 24/7, 365 days a year operation funded by the county. It'll replace current EMS services provided by Jan Care. Commissioners say the transition will not cause any interruptions to services, and they're currently in the process of hiring personnel.
We're working really hard to get the new Wayne County system in place and operating as soon as possible. And you know, we talk about it every week at the commission meeting, but I can promise you we're working very hard through the week to make sure that we're hitting our deadlines and we're getting this up and going as soon as possible.
Officials say preliminary mock-ups of the station will be presented next week. A 2-year-old is dead after a crash in Barron County. It happened on Bluff Springs Road Monday. That's according to Kentucky State Police. They say the vehicle ran off the road, hit a wooden fence and a tree line. In addition to the death of the infant, troopers say 2 others had non-life-threatening injuries.